views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when
There may be many other nights like this, and I'll be standing here with someone new. There may be other songs to sing, another fall, another place ain't here. Pick up your tears, pick up your tears, pick up your tears and go home. Pick up your lies, you're out. You are tall and tan and young and lovely. The girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes he smiles, but she doesn't see. Come rain, come shine, I meet you and to me the day is fine. Then I kiss your lips and the pounding becomes an ocean's roar, 10,500 drums. Can't you see that it's love? Can there be any doubt? When there it is, there it is, there it is. Can you see that it's love? Can there be any doubt? When there it is, day in and day out.
Hello, this is Patty Hunter, or Patty's Page. I'd like to welcome to my TV show. Today's special guests are four men who are in the Four Freshmen, and they are Ferreira, Tommy Boynton, Jack Baldwin, and Ryan Howe. So howdy.
Howdy.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome
Nice
to
to
my
see you.
show. So, you guys, how long have you guys been with the Four Freshmen? Starting with Bob.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we've all been in different, obviously different lengths. I am the senior member. I actually just celebrated 30 years on August 1st.
Oh,
So pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
very crazy. That's when my husband's birthday, August 1st. So there you are.
Lots
There we
to
are.
celebrate.
So, the original Four Freshmen, what year and where did they start? Who'd like to answer?
Go for it, Bobby.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the group officially started in 1948. They were four freshmen in college at Butler University in the Arthur Jordan Conservatory of Music in Indianapolis.
Right.
And basically they kind of cut their teeth in performing in Indiana. And your hometown there, Fort Wayne, actually was probably where it really started for the freshmen back in the late 40s. So
Wow. I was
Yeah.
born in 1952. That's about 4 years later. Oh my goodness.
That was the year that It's a Blue World came out.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, how about Ryan? How long have you been with the Four Freshmen?
I joined in November of 2022, so like coming up on 2 years in 3 months or so.
And you-
2020. Oh, 2020. Yeah.
I was just going to
Okay.
ask, boy, that was short.
I joined in the future. Yeah.
And you, Tommy?
I joined in 2015, so I've been in the band now for 7 years. Originally, I sang the melody and played bass, and then I switched to guitar and sing the second part now that Ryan's singing our melody for us.
Ah, and Jake?
I started in January of 2020, so just before things got interesting.
So you're kind of fresh.
I'm one of the Ryan's the freshest. I'm ripe.
Yes, yeah.
Fresh as the freshmen. Oh, my stars. So how did you guys get into this beautiful
Let's go
band?
backwards. Jake, why don't you start?
I got into the group because I went to college with Tommy, and then when one of the former members was leaving, Tommy just sent me a text asking me if I could sing, and I lied and said yes, and then here we are.
You said you lied?
I had never sang before.
Oh, my
In a
stars.
professional sense. I'm a trumpet player, and that's been my thing my whole life, and then Tommy just had some weird confidence in me for whatever reason.
Very bizarre confidence. It worked out pretty good too. He's a good singer too, so that works as well.
It's working.
And how about you, Ryan?
Tommy and we went to school together at the same school that I had been teaching at for the last however many years, in Creston, Iowa, back in 2008 to 2010. And so we were actually teaching there together at the same time during the pandemic, and had just been making a lot of music together there. And something happened, whatever shift happened, and I was actually cooking tofu at the stove. We were having dinner at my place, and he just said to me while I was cooking tofu, "Hey, do you want to sit in and with the freshmen at this next gig in Largo, and if it works out, like join the group or whatever?" And I'm just flipping tofu. It's just super surreal moment. Like, yeah, that sounds great.
Really? And they meant it.
Amazingly so, yeah.
So
He didn't burn the tofu that bad. It'd take a lot of work to burn some tofu, but
well, I've had tofu before. Was it blended with any type of flavoring? Usually it doesn't have much of a taste.
we absolutely season our food.
Mhm.
We don't mess around with it.
Wow.
Okay, and then I joined through this school that Ryan was talking about. It's called the School for Music Vocations, and it was started by a really prominent vocal arranger and amazing piano player by a guy named Phil Matson in the early 90s. And I went to that school. Ryan and I were students there, like he said, in 2008. And then right after I finished my bachelor's at New England Conservatory, which is where I met Jake, I just started teaching there at SWIC, the community college. School for Music Vocations is all one thing, many names, too many names, one school. And and then my predecessor went to that school in the 90s. His name was Brian Eichenberger. He was a great musician, amazing singer, amazing arranger in person. And he went to that school in the 90s and called up my boss to see if anyone could sing and play. And amazingly, I was going to leave that school. I was like young, and Creston's in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. And so it was like not the ideal spot that I wanted to be in my early 20s. And so I was going to leave after my second year, but Ryan had just left to go get his master's at University of North Texas, and so I had some incentive to stay on that third year of teaching, and then got the Four Freshmen audition a week into that third school year, which was kind of fortunate, I guess. Kind of Ryan's leaving SWIC that made me get the Four Freshman gig, thus getting him the Four Freshman gig. So.
Oh my stars.
The moral of the story is leave your job. just kidding. Speaking
like a
of that,
circle,
Bob, when did you?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Never ending circle. Hey. Bob, how did you get into it?
Yeah, well, actually, I was a student. I was going to Central Washington University. I was going towards my music education degree. Prior to attending Central, I attended Edmonds Community College, just north of Seattle, and sang in a vocal group there. And the director of that vocal group was a man named Kirk Marcy, who was a member of the Four Freshmen for about a year. He actually left the Freshmen to pursue this teaching job, which was kind of his dream job. So the year I graduated high school and joined this vocal jazz group at this college was the same year he had left the Freshmen. So we kind of converged our paths at that point in time. This was like in 1989, right there, actually 88 still. And then I went through Edmonds Community College, transferred to Central, and he called me up saying, hey, you want to judge we would be on the audition committee for this vocal jazz group. I said, sure. And that's when he kind of put it to me. He said, hey, I have a gig for you. And I said, oh, cool. Maybe a camp counselor at a jazz camp or something. He's like, the freshmen need a drummer. Oh. And I just about fell out of my seat because I was not expecting that. So they flew me down to audition. Flew me down to Las Vegas, where the group has been based, and was down Vegas for a few hours. About a month later, they called me up, said, you have the gig if you want it. And I was like, cool. So it was, when I joined, I was replacing, there were two members retiring. Bob Flanagan, the original lead singer, was decided to retire at that point after 44 years on the road. Wow. And then the drummer, Audie Goodman, was retiring at the same time, who was about a year older than Bob. And so there were two new members coming in. And this was kind of the beginning of that transitional period for the freshmen between the last original member and a completely, a complete group of four that had, that was not any originals or any of the capital guys involved. So it was kind of a new chapter for the group.
So how many Four Freshmen members have there been since 1948? Do you know?
I think it's 30, right? Because it's we're group 27. How they do the ordering is so it started in 48, and then Hal Cratch, the original bass singer, left in 52.
When I was born.
Is that right, Bob? And then and so that first 4 years they call group 1, which is such a good group. I love them. Mm-hmm. And then group 2 was when a guy Ken Ferreira joined, and that they did some very famous recordings, such as the Four Freshmen, 5 trombones, and maybe even Graduation Day.
Mm-hmm. That's
and right. Big recordings. Hal Cratch is on It's a Blue World, so that's group 1, but group 2 had some famous recordings, and then somebody left in 56 or something like that, and somebody joined then, and so they call it a new group every single time, and so now we're group 27, and as far as that goes. And so if it's 27 new members plus the original 3, does that make 30? Am I doing that right, guys?
30.
All right.
You can get behind my logic at least. I could be completely wrong, but let's go ahead and just take that logic.
Okay, I like the logic of.
Thanks, guys.
Anyways, the Four Freshmen have influenced some other bands now. Do you know what's the most famous band that I know? They're
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
No. Yeah, it's quite known that Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys originally modeled his sound after Bob Flanagan, and he loves the Four Freshmen. Bob was just doing a good job telling the audience about this the other day. Well, whatever. Anytime anytime Brian Wilson hears the Four Freshmen, it just brings him back to this youthful joy, which is so special that music can do that to anyone in general. But he was really into the Four Freshmen when he was young, and would teach Four Freshmen songs to his brothers, friends, and then eventually that sound is what started the Beach Boys.
So
I'm saying that right? How'd I do, guys?
Sounds right.
So the Letterman, Four Lads, those guys too, or am I just fishing?
The Four Lads and the Four Aces would really kind of came up pretty close to the same time as the freshmen. And really, I think like the four preps were heavily influenced by the freshman sound. Kenny Rogers really was a big fan with his vocal group in the beginning, was very influenced by the freshman sound. So Mamas and the Papas as well. But yeah, the four lads and the four aces we've worked with over the years, I think, they had kind of their own style. I don't honestly know how much they were influenced, but they were definitely compatriots with the freshmen over the years.
I think something that I find really, really fascinating as far as the influence goes is just more so the how do I put this? Just like the many different directions that so many people that were influenced by the freshmen went. Like Kenny Rogers has his own sound, Brian Wilson has his own sound, and all the and there's this group very famous in the jazz world group called the High-Lows. That was a male quartet that are just like Four Freshmen on acrobats or something. That was a safe way of putting it, or something.
That's a show I would watch.
Yep.
A really, really nerdy Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, what genre are you? Jazz?
Yeah, I'd say so. And especially in the big, I always tend to explain it as like big band influenced vocal group sound. So it's got like that 50s swing, but in that there's also sort of, in some ways, if there was a Venn diagram going on, I would almost say pop swing would be a 50s pop swing.
We've been described as the bad boys of easy listening. That's possible.
That's on the Venn diagram as well. I wouldn't. The group did start out, the four original guys. Actually, no, they weren't with. This wasn't with Bob Flanagan, but they were a barbershop quartet first.
I was going
but
to
then
say
switched
that.
to the melody on top, which is not the case then in barbershop. Melody's tucked in there, and but I just really, even though there's a similar process and 4-part harmony, etc., I really don't feel like we're a barbershop group.
Well, in the
personally.
beginning, you sort of started out like that in the 40s.
Yeah, that's what they were. That's what they were in like
Evolved.
47 or so. But they like took that sound and took their influences and more importantly, in some ways, put the melody on top, which opened up to a completely different approach to voicings. That's just not the same as what it's not the same process as barbershop. And I only say this as somebody who like loves barbershop, and I kind of like to honor the two as like just totally different approaches. But 4-part male harmony, hard not to compare it.
How about you, Ryan?
Maybe like 5% of our chord voicings might be considered like the same voicings you might hear in barbershop, but there's just so much. It's like barbershop with jazz harmony, which then just kind of there's more crunch. There's more. I don't know. There's not as many second inversion dominant 7 chords. Right. With the harmony is just different. But
when we with there being a bass instrument, we don't have to cover the root of a chord 90% of the time, and so therefore we're able to more so explore the colors that can come from all 12 notes in the scale, as opposed to just trying to stick with your standard tonality or whatever.
And you have your own style. You put your own selves into the Four Freshmen, don't you, Bob?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one thing that we have never done as a group, and people say, you sound just like the originals and this and that. We're never trying to impersonate the groups of the past. We sing the arrangements in the style that the original group did, honoring the style and the tradition of the sound and the harmony, but we've never tried to manipulate our voices in any way to make it sound like we are being one of the older members. So one of the things we can pride ourselves on, and the one thing that has always helped this group evolve in some fashion, is the uniqueness that each member brings to the group and the individual talents. And so we definitely encourage that with all of our members. And because we believe that every group has its own personality, its own sound. It's apples and oranges. So people might have opinions that this group sounds better than this group, but as far as through the years, but really it's hard to compare a lot of times because there are some beautiful moments with group one that we love, but then there are some group three moments that are like, holy cow, these are, it's so hard to say this group's better than this group because they're different personalities.
You have several new tunes that had not been played by previously the past the Four Freshmen. What are they? Are they jazz? Are they what? Are they the same as?
We there's definitely still original Four Freshmen songs or arrangements that we love to sing, but we love to also, and the group's been just famous for always just continuing forward in that sense of what we arrange, and while still honoring the American vocal music tradition and what people maybe call standards, but as Bob likes to say, a good song's a good song, and so as long as we can find the right sounds for it and tell the right stories with it, we're down to arrange it. And so we did just do a brand new album that just came out in June.
This year?
Yeah, just very recently. And
The Four Freshmen.
Four Freshmen featuring Emmett Cohen, Russell Hall, and Kyle Poole. But I was for our viewers out there, our listeners out there, we were viewing the CD just now. We were looking at it. But yeah, all things aside, it was with the great piano player Emmett Cohen and Russell Hall on bass and Kyle Poole on drums. Mm-hmm. They're just some of my favorite musicians, and I got into them because of during the pandemic. They were able to play live streams together every Monday, and it was just truly kind of the only actual jazz happening in the world in a way. And those videos did really, really well, and I just fell in love with all three of them as players. And so we just did an album with them of all new arrangements.
You can, if you were looking for the actual CD, you can actually get it on our website, which is fourfreshmen.com/shop, /shop. And it also, if you check out the website, you can see our tour schedule, that kind of thing, bios on the four of us. But if you're looking for the CD, as far as downloading, it's available on all the streaming platforms like iTunes and Google Play and all that stuff. So it's out there. I think everybody encourage you to check it out. It was such a fun project, and Emmett, all those guys, they're just Russell and Kyle were just such a pleasure to work with. Humble guys and just amazing musicians.
What is your favorite song, you guys? What is your favorite song?
I love Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty is from the Four Freshmen and Five Trombones album. It's such a beautiful arrangement. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those that always goes back to the first thing to pop in my head. But there are so many different songs that have so many beautiful facets to them that it's so hard to just kind of nail down one as an all-time favorite for me.
Mine is I'm Always Chasing Rainbows.
You're always chasing rainbows? Ah, you gotta
really
catch up to it, kiddo.
It keeps my cardio going, so this is good.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Oh man, go ahead. You got anything?
Next year, 75th anniversary of the Four Freshmen.
Yes.
Where are y'all gonna be?
Worldwide.
Hopefully everywhere.
Well, hopefully we're going to be celebrating our convention right there in Fort Wayne. So that's what we're looking forward to.
What would that be,
We don't have any details on that yet, so I would not want to make any
commitments,
premature announcements as far as that goes. But once again, you can check back on our website, fourfreshmen.com, and we have our tour schedule there. Once we get information, it's usually posted up there and can get the information. We also have a wonderful fan club called the Four Freshmen Society, and they usually will have information since they're the ones that are hosting this annual convention, and you can find them on fourfreshmansociety.com.
I'll look them up, kiddo. So you guys are coming here in 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are looking forward to seeing you guys, because we are so thrilled and so honored to have you guys on my show, because I love your singing, your harmonizing, everything. The camaraderie the chemistry is good, excellent, You're turning out okay. You're great in my books, you know.
You know, I'll
say.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been enjoying the hang lately. We're all Jake got us all into the frisbee golf.
Frisbee.
Disc golf. And so
Oh,
it's
disc
become like a
golf.
main priority of us on our travels. Everywhere we go now, we find disc golf courses to play and squeeze in a round of disc golf before our shows and whatever. We'll drive like sometimes kind of far to go make sure we can squeeze in some disc golf, and honestly just having something else like that to bring the, you know, just something else to love and do together has helped the music immensely too, because it just gives us, yeah, it's the camaraderie
We're
thing.
like brothers, you know. Oh, like family.
Absolutely. I've never experienced this in my 30 years with the group. Oh, I should say now 28 years, because when Ryan joined, there's just this chemistry between the four of us that is something I've never experienced, and on and off the stage. And I think, as what kind of adding on to what Tommy was saying, the more that we can click and relate off stage, the more that we click and relate on stage, and it translates so well.
It's
And
like
so
magic.
sincere.
Really.
It's sincere. It's very sincere.
We have a show coming up in October
You do?
in Overland Park, Kansas. That's we played a big band show with this guy, and he was a very cool guy, and I had a lot of fun on the big band show with him. But then we posted a video of us playing disc golf, and he comments on it being like, "Wait, you guys all play? No way!" And then he got us a show playing at his college so that we could come down and play. We're gonna play music with him. We're actually gonna do a 5 trombone. He's a great trombone player, and we're gonna recreate some of the songs from the 5 Trombones album. And so we're gonna play some awesome music, but we're also gonna play some frisbee golf with this guy.
All right.
Incredible. So always promote all the sides that you're into of your, you know, all the things that you do.
I would like to say we're getting towards the end of the show, my people, my friends. I deem you as my friends now because you're very relaxed, open, and friendly, and I like that.
Same to you, Patty.
Well, we appreciate you having us on too, Patty. Thank you.
And what would you like to say, each of you, for my audience? You, Bob, first.
You know what? Just go out there, live life, go out and support the arts. We hope we get to see you. If we're anywhere near
Don't worry,
you.
you will.
It's just going to be a fun show. I mean, to all of your fans as well, and listeners, you know, just come out and see us, but just more importantly, come out and support the arts.
Share the music that excites you with the people that you know, that you. It's like one of the best things that you can do, and it would make the world a whole lot happier. I don't see as much of that on social media as I like. There's a lot of other stuff that I see on social media, but I used to see a lot of like people sharing songs that like brighten their day, and I think that we should get some more of that going again. And especially if you want to share the Freshmen, get us some new fans. That's also fun.
Tommy.
Yeah, just do stay in touch with us. Like I said, we have our Facebook and our Instagram are our main social medias that we use. And so you can stay in touch with us there. And we also just started a Patreon page, which is where you can just directly support us. It's just patreon.com/the4freshmen. And it has some fun content. That's just a whole new thing. We just started it, so we're getting the ball rolling with it. But it's a great way that you can help support us directly and stay in touch with us on a more intimate side too. So do stay in touch with us in any way that you see fit.
And you, Jake.
Don't be afraid to get completely obsessed with whatever you're passionate about and share it with others.
Hey, yo.
There you go.
Bam.
Boom.
Ba-dum-bum. Well, thank you, guys. When you do come, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Hopefully, can do a wee interview with you if I'm allowed. So, God bless you guys. This is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Thank you for coming on to my show. To the guys, the Four Freshmen, I salute you, and we love you and your songs and all that. So God bless, and we'll see you next week, people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Godspeed.